This short is intense, to say the least. And I read that you call this your mission, not your movie. Explain a little bit about that.
Can you repeat the last part?
You talk about this being your mission, not your movie. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You know, this film really started off with, a desire to help the children back in Afghanistan. I remember, you know, frankly speaking, as a person, I've been very competitive um, throughout school and throughout my career. Like I have to be the best in this, I have to be the best in that. So I've never really liked losing. This is the first time I think that I have lost and I've actually enjoyed it. All the money I put into this film, not gonna get that back, and I thought this is the place to do it. We started our film with saving a child bride in Afghanistan. Is where it spurred out. My research analyst told me that her brother was approached by this woman. She's a Hazara woman, so they're like an ethnic tribe in Afghanistan, and they're really oppressed. They're like they're always casted away, and all kinds of atrocities are done with them. So they're like a minority over there. So she's trying to sell her daughter, and she's afraid nobody's gonna buy her daughter because she's a Hazara, and she's like, we don't even look that good. Who's gonna buy us? And it was so like one of those things you can't get out of your head for a while. So we got together and we you know raise some funds and send it to her brother through Western Union, and he took it to the mother's house, and she started putting all these nice clothes on her daughter, and her daughter knew what this meant. She understood that somebody's coming to buy me. When the doorknob turned, she went like she was running from corner to corner and she was screaming. The man walks inside, who is our research analyst brother, and he's like, I'm not here. I'm not here to buy you. I'm here to help you. It was like chaos. So she just leaped onto her mother and just held on for dear life for the rest of that night. She didn't move. So he gave the cash to the mother, and they were crying because they couldn't believe it. And since then, they still send photos to show that she's still with them. But the price of the sale is like $20. People move around, you know, uh, Afghanistan on the streets of Kabul selling themselves for $20. That's like what spare change you'll find in your car or your pockets. That's the cost of someone's life there. So that's how this whole thing started. Was by reaching out and helping, and since then this has been about that mission. We have been like throughout the film, like while we were making the film, before we were making the film, when we were done making the film, we've been doing bread movements in Afghanistan, where we've been going from person to person to give them bread, give their families bread, because people are selling their children for food. If they have food, the chances they're going to sell their children drop down a lot, significantly. So this entire film is based on that. A lot of films are made on good causes, but they rarely actually reach out to the world around them. Even on set, we cast actual refugees. So, their entire life just turned completely like 180 degrees around through this film. So it's about, if you're going to make something, it has to have some impact. There are companies like Tesla. Majority of companies have like corporate social responsibility, CSR. They're supposed to give back to society through charities, donations, some form. We make a lot of money through film. Why don't we do the same thing? We're not a charity, but neither is Tesla. A business can be a good business. So that's kind of what I believe in. That's why I say this is not a film, it's a mission, because it's so directly involved in helping the communities that it deals with.
And you talked about having refugees as your actors. Why did you decide to do that? It seems like most people when they want to get a message across, they hire the best actors. You hired refugees. Why was that important?
Well, it turned out my refugees were the best actors I could hire. Actually, it came across one day. I was at the refugee camp, and I was just there to talk to them about their stories and experiences. And I found this one girl, and she was watching this. They watch a lot of Bollywood over there. They're fascinated by it. So she was watching Bollywood on TV, and she has thalassemia. At the time, I didn't know, which is like it's a blood disorder. And I was asking her, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And she was really hesitant. And then after asking her a couple of times, then she's like, I really want to be an actor. So I was like, well, why the hell not, you know? I decided to, cast refugees, because the thing is, the most they're going to get out of their day is, they get to watch a little bit of TV, okay? Maybe they get some good food, but a lot of them go skip meals. I mean, their life is really hard. They can't even work without, having their UNHCR card. A lot of them, nobody wants to take them for jobs because they don't trust them. So they're not allowed to work. They have to feed their families. It's a really, really terrible time for them. Now all of a sudden they're superstars, their movie is premiering in Hollywood. For them it was like, what? So it was completely, crazy. But the people that I got to work, in this film, these are people who came to me and said they are pissed. They're pissed at the Taliban. They couldn't do anything when they were in Afghanistan. Nobody's listening to them. What voice do they have? So they're like, yeah, we want to take revenge. So let's take revenge. So this is like a playground for them, 5 minutes of revenge on the Taliban. And they were ecstatic. On the set, it was crazy. People were crying. They were, phoning back home to Afghanistan and, talking to their families, showing them the set. It was such an emotional experience. I actually had to stop the camera several times because they were actually crying. The mother was actually tearing up behind the window, and I was not sure how to react because I've never been in such a situation. I've worked with professional actors, but no professional actor could bring to the table what they did because, all of their experiences were real. I just had to be like a craftsman and put, the best of the best together. I can just tell you, one of our characters who plays a soldier, he was kidnapped by the Taliban and drugged for 2 weeks. Okay, his father negotiated him out of that situation. 2 of his brothers have died. His uncle has died. His house has been blown up. And he was not ready to leave Afghanistan. His father begged him to come to India, and he finally did. But he says, my revenge is not over. And I'm doing this film because my blood is still boiling. Our mother was engaged to be married to an old Taliban soldier, actually. And she married the man she loved, and they ran away from there, came to India. He's still looking for them. He said he wants to kill the family, and he's going to take her back. So these people have some seriously, troubled past, man. I mean, they've been, the worst that can happen has happened. And now it's their time to shout and scream and get the word out. So working with them was it was the grace of God. Everything fell down so perfectly. I can't believe we just found the perfect people for the perfect roles and coming together. They've changed so much. It's one of those things where you make a film about, something so traumatizing. I mean, we had a 15-year-old, she's 15-year-old, in the story. In real, she's she's 12. A 12-year-old girl in a coffin. When she's in that coffin, even she was like, holy shit, what the, but this is the film where they came out of it, and you talk to them now, and they're so confident, they are so cheerful, they are so uplifted. So if you can make a film about something traumatizing and uplift the people that you're working with, I think that's what's spectacular, and that's, what's happened with our refugees. So it was great.
That's awesome. And how does this affect you coming out of it? I mean, it seems like you gained a lot of perspective from everybody that was involved in it, but how do you feel coming out of it?
I honestly, I realized speaking on the terms of a director, I want to work. I don't want to work with ready-made actors. I want to work with people that I can really craft and people that are actually affected by the situation, because I think that is changing lives. The thing is, if I hire a professional actor, and they'll do the film, it'll be another film on their resume, and then they'll walk on, maybe they'll go to the film festival, and then it's like something else for them. These refugees, this is going to be for the remainder of their lives, this is on their walls, it's in their hearts. Like, this is what they talk about this to the date, every day, all day. They're speaking about this. So it's another kind of satisfaction that you just can't get with professional actors, I think. So that's, speaking in terms of a director. But one of the biggest lessons I've learned from making this film is when you make a film and I'm here at this festival, Dances with Films. My parameter of success, whether I've succeeded or not, is gonna be this: people are gonna walk into the theater, they're gonna watch the film. When they walk out, what are they gonna say? If they remember my name, then I don't think I've succeeded. But if they remember the story and they're like, oh God, who is the director? I don't know. But the story was freaking fantastic, then that means I've succeeded. So I think that a really good film is a film that overtakes the producer, overtakes the director, overtakes them, the crew, the cinematographer, the AD, and really stands out as its own thing. So that's one of the lessons I've learned in making this, and I really, in the future, will be working on stories that will directly impact society and help them.
I had read that you said that it might have been a short time on film, but that you hope the longevity is in the viewer. I think you definitely succeeded with that. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much for your time. This is an amazing short, and I can't wait to go see it at Dance of the Films.
Awesome. And can I just add one more thing?
Go for it.
If you can add this. So we have, as you know, the song in the film, the first one that plays, the Yatan.
Hmm.
So we're actually releasing that on Apple Music and such. So any money and proceeds we get from anyone who buys that song, that's going directly to feed children in Afghanistan, women and their dependents. So if you can please spread the word, this is going to be very unique because it's a song about the Taliban and it's going to help save, child brides. So yeah, that would be fantastic if you could do that.
Yeah, definitely will. I will ask your publicist for the link to that so I can spread that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day, and congratulations on being in Dance with the Films and premiering this film in Hollywood, in the biggest theater in Hollywood.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.